Chapter 20. Chicken feathers on the ground. The spirit-tailed chickens were far larger than ordinary chickens. Their feathers were tough, their temper fierce. Once fully grown, each was comparable to a cultivator of the second level of key condensation. Their meat was delicious, their eggs nourishing, their blood and bones valuable for alchemy. Most important of all, their tail feathers were an extremely rare material for igniting three-colored flame. Because of this, spirit-tailed chickens were bred in great numbers across the three mountains of the southern bank of the Spirit Creek sect. Yet, they did not belong to the sect itself. They were the private property of Li Kingo and the two mountain lords of the other peaks. Special disciples were assigned to tend them. On Fragrant Cloud Mountain alone, 3 large chicken farms had been set up. Bai Xiaochun crouched in the grass, his eyes locked on the flock. He had eaten spirit-tailed chicken meat back in the fire cauldron kitchen, but had never seen a living one before. The flavor still haunted his memory. It was far too delicious. He also remembered Big Fatty Zhang once saying these chickens loved to eat spirit insects. After some thought, Bai Xiaochun's body flickered. Instead of acting recklessly, he hurried down the mountain to exchange his last few spirit stones for a bag of spirit insects. Returning to his small courtyard, his stomach growled miserably. He forced himself to stay calm as he searched for tools. Soon, his eyes lit up. The spirit winter bamboo he had planted now towered a full 10 feet. As thick as his fist, glowing faintly with spiritual light. Laughing quietly, Bai Xiaochun circled the bamboo, then snapped off 2 of the sturdiest stalks. With nimble hands, he fashioned them into a strange contraption. A bamboo cicada trap, a trick he had learned as a child from his father. Supposedly, it could capture any chicken or even a phoenix, if one were foolish enough to try. Using bamboo fibers, he twisted together a rope and tied it securely to the trap. After checking it twice, he grabbed his makeshift device, waited until night fell, and rushed out with shining green eyes. "Tonight, I eat chicken." His stomach roared like thunder as he crept toward the chicken pens. Drawing close, he crouched by the fence, dangling his bamboo trap with a fat spirit insect tied to the end. With a practiced flick, he tossed it inside and crouched low, waiting breathlessly. Inside the massive pen, over 100 spirit-tailed chickens milled about. Most stood still, proud and regal, occasionally strutting with an air of dignity. After a while, one turned its head sharply. Spotting the insect, it marched over, opened its massive beak, and pecked down. Snap! The bamboo sprang up, wedging itself inside the chicken's beak, forcing it wide open. The bird tried to cry out, but not a sound escaped. It thrashed furiously, trying to bite through the bamboo, but it was impossibly tough. With a sudden tug, the rope yanked tight, and the spirit-tailed chicken was lifted into the air silently. Bai Xiaochun's eyes glittered as he caught it neatly. Channeling all the strength of his 4th-level key condensation, reinforced by his hardened skin, he crushed its neck with practiced ease and stuffed it into his storage pouch. The entire process had taken less than 30 breaths. Heart-pounding, Bai Xiaochun darted back to his courtyard. Soon, mouth-watering fragrance wafted into the night sky. By dawn, the chicken had vanished entirely save for bones and scattered feathers strewn across the ground. Warmth filled his body. His hunger eased, his flesh replenished. Even a wisp more spiritual energy surged within him. Most importantly, his undying everlasting technique now flowed more smoothly, each breath carrying waves of heat across his skin. His hide toughened further, faint black light flickering before fading back to its usual pale white. This undying skin. First pain, then hunger. Truly difficult to endure. But the results are amazing. Testing with his wooden sword, he felt actual resistance against his skin. Though he didn't press further, his conviction deepened. The undying skin has 4 levels: iron, bronze, silver, and gold. Right now, I'm only at the beginning. If I last the full 81 days, I'll reach iron skin. Minor completion. He glanced at the chicken bones, determination flashing in his eyes. Luckily, there are plenty of spirit-tailed chickens here on the mountain. He laughed quietly to himself, eyes gleaming with mischief. What Bai Xiaochun didn't know was that countless disciples before him had attempted this very technique. Most gave up before the 81 days, unable to withstand the torment. Those who persevered eventually faced a terrifying price. The resources consumed were monstrous. To cultivate this art to its peak required more than what entire sects could afford. This was why the undying everlasting technique sat untouched in the scripture pavilion, but Bai Xiaochun, blissfully unaware, merely wiped his greasy hands and buried the bones and feathers in his spiritual soil. The next few days, he laid low, but hunger soon returned. In the dead of night, he crept out again, returning with not one, but 2 spirit-tail chickens. Days turned into weeks. 1 month later, whispers spread across fragrant Cloud Mountain. Someone stealing the spirit-tail chickens. Even Li Kingo himself heard the news. But busy with other matters, he paid it little mind. The outer sect disciples in charge of the coops, however, were furious. Their pride was shattered. Despite their vigilance, the chickens kept vanishing without a trace, as if spirited away by ghosts. Meanwhile, Bai Shaochun's cheeks grew round and rosy. His strength returned, his hunger tamed, his daily life once again filled with joy. With a full belly and bright mood, his research into the second herbal scroll advanced quickly. At last, he mastered it fully. Brimming with confidence, he straightened his robe, lifted his chin, and marched proudly toward the medicine pavilion. This time, he declared, "I'll show everyone that I, Bai Shaochun, am destined to stand above Kuchu Tianqi."